I'm recording.
I know.
All right, so Michael, it hasn't even been a week. It's been 4 or 5 days since the conference, the new business models for News Summit. First, how did the day go for you personally?
I was very impressed with the conference. First, with the people that you got, it was very impressive. Second, I really liked the lightning round thing. I go to a ton of these things, and most of them are just terrible because you get this kind of faux TV show interview thing. They put three people on a couch. They have a host who sits and asks questions. It's boring as shit. So all the people that you got, I thought they really knew their topics, and the whole lightning round thing. They get to the point right away, which was great.
No, that's good. And we're getting a little bit. Some people like the lightning round, some people don't. Can't please everybody. I'm curious at the end when we did sort of a wrap up and we really started asking questions and going back and forth. And Jeff was playing Oprah like only Jeff can do. There was a little bit of discussion, and it was from your group in particular about. I think it was you were in the news efficiencies, if I recall, or you were talking about getting rid of newsrooms as physical locations. Can you tell me more about what
Yes.
that was?
Well, I mean, the problem is, that the question, of course, we all know newspapers are going down the drain. And so the issue was, how do you save newspapers more or less? And part of the group obviously wants to do this sort of salami tactics of, let's stop doing sports, let's stop doing movie reviews. But I think this is the slow path to death because it doesn't really solve the problem. So the other half of the group, and some of us were extremely radical, were much more of the burn to the ground school. That doesn't mean there isn't an appetite or a marketplace for local news or current events or community reporting, but it's really a function of what the newspaper is in a digital era. And what it probably is not is a piece of paper that comes on your breakfast table in the morning. But that doesn't mean there isn't a place for an accumulation of sort of news gatherers, informations, and with credit to Jarvis, curators, who then process this stuff and turn it around, and there's a value to that I think people will pay for.
Okay. Another, this is sort of a more on a broad level. From the day in particular, now that you've had a little time to decompress from it, were there any other sort of issues or thoughts that came to your mind that you wanted to sort of go back to and discuss as far as how the day went, or news efficiencies, your particular group, or any of the other groups?
Yeah, you know what I thought was particularly interesting, what I liked a lot about the way it was organized was, first it had a core agenda, which was really to solve a problem, as opposed to, a million people spouting off about their line of bullshit. But what really made it work was that it tied together. I was particularly impressed with the guy from Harvard Business School who said, we never talk to the journalists and the journalists never talk to us. And a lot of the conversation, a lot of the discussion is disconnected from the reality is that you have to make a living here and this is a business. So the stuff I was particularly impressed with was the stuff where we got down to the nuts and bolts of how do you make money out of this and how do you survive as opposed to the more theoretical, it should be this and it should be that.
So, wrap up question, because I know you're a busy guy and you got all kinds of stuff to do. But for you personally, and also for the conference, or what I'll call is sort of general, almost cultural movement or community. What's next? What's next for you personally, and what should be next? Do you think for CUNY in their role is trying to push forward what journalism should go?
Right. Well, of course, in the short term, what's next for me is DNA 2009, March 3rd and 4th in Brussels, which I hope all of you guys will come to. Sorry, 4th and 5th. My wife says 4th and 5th. I always fuck that up. Anyway, what we're working on, we're really on the business end of this thing. I'm not really a journalist as much as we're trying to make this work as a business. So what we're grappling with all of our clients is how to monetize and really how to survive and how to make a living out of this thing. Specifically, we have a very interesting project with Verizon. We built a very small, like a mini New York One, and it's all run by VJs and it's all very cheap. And I was talking to Wilsey at the Newark Star Ledger, and I think this model could work for him also. On the one side, we've all got the content creation thing boiled down pretty well. Small cameras, laptops, make it cheap, turn around fast. What we haven't paid attention to is the revenue side. And what we're going to try and do in the next couple of years is to apply these same economies of scale to the revenue generating side, because that's the really important part to survive. So, for example, in the world of television, which is done, it's run by commercials. That's how you make the thing. Once we cut the cost of production to the bone, which we can do by getting rid of most of the staff and giving all these people cameras and sending them out to do it, the break-even point for selling ad spots, which is the way we make money, collapses. So it goes from $1,000 a minute to get a commercial on television to actually, in our Verizon thing, around $4 a minute. Well, what that means is if I can sell ad spots for $20 or $30 or $40 for a 30-second spot, I can make a profit. You can't sell those spots for those prices if you have ad agencies and commercial producers and production companies. So what we're doing is purely an experiment, but I think it's very interesting. What we've done is we've put together a core of people, like you know, young, bright, aggressive, who have cameras and laptops, and we've said to them, here's the camera, here's the laptop, there's the door. Go to the local pizzeria, go to the shoe salesman, go to the dentist, go make a spot. I don't know if you saw the thing at the Times about this guy who's made $200,000 making spots on his laptop. Go make a spot and go sell it, and we'll do it on a commission basis. It's like the Avon lady comes to commercials. And so I think that, and this would work here, and I think it'll work for Jim Wilsey also, because one of the big complaints newspapers have is the newspaper sales department, which is internal and very expensive, doesn't understand how to sell for the web. So my general inclination is get rid of them. Just get rid of them and get a bunch of people who want to do this, and it doesn't even have to be a full-time job. It could be students and retirees and housewives and, whoever. But I think that we're really going to focus on the ads, on the revenue side now.
That's bold. Those are bold ideas. And so basically you're talking about stripping down what isn't needed. If it's not needed, get rid of it, and focusing on the ad business side of things. And
yeah, that's right. We spent the last 10 years gutting the production side, which was great, but we never, like most journalists, we never paid attention to the revenue side. So for the next couple of years, we're really going to focus on the revenue side, and we're going to gut that the same way we gutted the newsroom, and I think we're going to be able to make an economy of scale that's going to work.
Okay. Anything else that's on your mind that comes to when you're thinking about the summit that just happened, or what's next?
Well, not off the top of my head, but as I emailed you, I can't find the videos from the lightning round. They haven't been posted on mobile.
They have been now, actually. They weren't.
I just looked like 20 minutes ago.
Oh, really?
It's only that one guy thing, that one guy, which I like a lot, but I've seen it 100 times already. It just keeps rolling around. When Rachel showed it to me originally, there was on the right-hand side, there was a sort of an index, but it's not coming up.
That's interesting. I'll email you off this video because it was working for me, But thank you very much for your time. I sincerely appreciate it. And,
My pleasure, man.
I'll be interviewing other people from the conference, so you can check it all at newsinnovation.com. That's my plug. All right.
I'll be there.
All right. Bye-bye.
All right, man. Take care. Thanks. Bye-bye.